Presented by That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster, this is Shonen Jumping the Gun, the show where we set our sights on the first chapter of a manga and decide if it's a misfire or a bullseye.
Let's see how many rounds are in this magazine.
On today's episode, your cocktail is ready, sir. This is Bartender. Welcome, everybody. How dry I am. How dry I am. Moxie the Yeen here with my connoisseur of the cocktail, my maestro of mixed drinks, my baron of booze, my authority on alcohol. This is Isekai Sensei-Sama Brad. Brad, how you doing?
I have to be the designated driver today.
Oof. Rough go of things. And we are here in the second episode of the Kraftwerks arc with Bartender about, go figure, being a bartender and cocktails and such.
I mean, I think that's what it's going to be about. He spends a lot more time in front of the bar than behind it in this chapter.
He does make a few... drinks are made. Bartenders are talked about and drinks are made. And what it means to be a bartender.
True.
Give me a Bart drink tender. Bartender was written by Araki Joe, who from his listing seemed like he had covered a lot of other alcohol and club space
Not that
series.
Araki.
Not that Araki, a different Araki. And is illustrated by...
Although it is Araki Joe.
Araki Joe. As opposed to, he's a
Araki
Joe.
Joe.
He's a Joe. He's a Joe star. What if a Joe star ran a bar? That'd actually be in the vein of the part 4. I think a JoJo who ran a bar as like his place in a town.
Hey,
really
Mr.
cool.
Joester.
Hey, Mr. Joester.
He wasn't the bartender, but
no, he was at a bar though, and it was illustrated by Kenji Nagatomo. I didn't check if they worked together a lot, but he did good work. This ran in Super Jump, Brad, how do I say this again now that I learned I've been saying it wrong this whole time and I feel very bad about making people angry for very legitimate reasons?
read it. Like, look at the word.
Seinen.
There you go.
Seinen,
Good
Seinen
job.
magazine, Super Jump, from 2004 to 2011 for 21 volumes. It also recently had a reboot anime in 2024, so people clearly like this series a lot because they are coming back to it.
Yeah. You know how I figured out that we were saying that wrong the whole time?
Why?
Because I kept trying to type it, and I kept typing it the way we were saying it.
I think I said it when I was typing it. I noticed I would say it in the vein of like a Naruto ninja rank, like Genin, Jonin, Senin,
Yeah.
and I think that's why that was what was in my ear, even though that's a different word with a different spelling that has no I in it after the E. Seinen. So much better. Shonen. Janen. And with that, it's time for my Moxie's Mox Speed manga summary mumble through. In a metropolitan city, probably Tokyo, a young man stands outside a bar, wondering what's changed in his 8 years away. Glass 1, a tender stool.
One quick point there, because we find out, you say it here, his age means that he left to go do bartender school or whatever in the United States when he was 18.
He couldn't even drink. I think there are places where you can run bar but not be able to drink.
No, that's a normal thing
in America, at least.
But it seems counterintuitive that a bartender who's so good, he wouldn't know what anything tastes like.
He was there for a while. He was there for 8 years. He's just that dang good, Brad. Let's get there. We see the scene of the bar. Various people in groups sat around between booths and bar stools. Within that, we see a distraught woman at the bar writing down the notebook. This place fails too. She complains to the bartender. Face, 59 points. Takes a swig of her drink. Gross! Which annoys the bartender, but that just irritates her more. We then see the young man from the start offering a glass, a gin fizz, along with some cocktail trivia that short cocktails should be taken in 3 sips, and long should be finished within 10 minutes. She enjoys the drink, and then notices the man matches the picture in the magazine she's reading.
Can I just say, I would find it so annoying if the way that I had to enjoy alcohol was so specific.
Oh, what, for her?
Well, what he's saying of like, you know, oh, you're getting this cocktail. You need to drink it like this.
I think it's like I read it as like this is the suggest. It's you don't have to, but it's like it's best. It didn't feel like it came from a like you have to the mouthfeel.
Yeah, but
swirl it around.
Coupled
like,
with her going like this is gross, and like then taking a sip of this other drink that the same bartender had made.
Well, they make the point of the ice melting.
Yeah,
and that's what that came from. Again, we're in a craft manga. He's Sakakura Ryu, age 26 and winner of the European Foods Cocktail Contest. He currently works at the Ritz Hotel in Paris as chief bartender. His drinks have been called God's Glass.
He doesn't currently work there.
Well, he doesn't work there currently, but he did.
Why she has a book with his name in it.
He was working there, but now he's here.
Right.
We had the Hands of the Sun, and now we have God's Glass. what will be next in our super craft character?
Spoiler alert, nothing.
Yeah. We cut back to him, and he's using olives on his eyes to make it look like he's always awake when asleep, to the bartender's laughter. The lady asks if he's the man in the magazine, which he confirms, but doesn't recognize her from the cabaret. Sorry, I don't generally recognize the women I've been spending time with, but now's her chance. She asks him to make a cocktail for someone. Cut to the Shiodome Hotel. I don't think I put that well in my summary. He basically thinks that she was a girl from his night out, and he's like, I don't usually remember people from those times.
I don't remember it that he was saying like he doesn't remember women, but just that there was a lot going on and he doesn't remember.
But he was out at a cabaret, and it seemed to suggest that it's like, I don't usually remember the women that I'm out at the because a cabaret is essentially a more fancy host club.
Yeah.
So that was my read on it. This was all of my Yakuza game training in here. Cut to the Shiodome Hotel a few days later, and we have a bartender skill challenge by the new hotel's master of drinks, Kamishima. He's very clear to them to follow his every instruction, but Ryu isn't listening, and instead marvels at how high up the view from the window is. Kamishima is frustrated as Ms. Kurashima, the woman from earlier, for bringing Ryu here, but she confirms that while he is young, he has an amazing wealth of experience.
I didn't catch how close their names were.
I know, until reading it now. They are not related.
Yeah.
These are two different humans. She just works for him. The boss asks each bartender to make their best cocktail, and after sipping each, rips each drink maker a new one with criteria never stated in the request. He's a real asshole. He asks questions and never likes the answers for unstated reasons.
The fact that, because the first guy, I was like, whoa, why are you being a dick? And then the second guy, I started coming around on it. And by the third one, I was like,
because I hate it when it's like, this is a test. You have to do exactly what I say. Fuck you for doing why did you do exactly what I say? Like, I think that.
Yes.
I think there is times where it's like, leave this open to see how your creative problem solving works. But I think it's bullshit when you explicitly asked, follow my every instruction or fuck you. And then when you do, he goes, fuck you.
I agree, except for the fact that he said that and then said, make me your best drink.
Yeah.
And all of them were like, well, I'm going to make my best drink.
As requested.
Except, as we will find out, the best drink is
because now
situational.
Yes, I know. But like when you say your best drink, not just the best drink, implies that it's the drink that they make best. Yeah. I don't like, maybe it was translation.
He could have been more clear.
He could have been less of an asshole. Then it's almost Ryu's turn, and an idea strikes him, and he goes running. Back in 10. He finally returns as Kamishima chews out bartenders in general having such simple and stupid jobs.
Now
he's an asshole.
Yeah, that part I agree that he's an asshole.
I don't care that he's stressed. He sucks.
But he did learn.
Yeah. Fuck him. Ryu, instead of a drink, offers him a quiz. What are the two professions where you absolutely cannot betray your customer? One is a doctor/pharmacist. That's one answer. And the other is a bartender. I really doubt that. That is not. I think I've given watered down drinks, and I'm sure at some point in history a doctor or pharmacist has lied to somebody. Maybe it was a translation thing, which I don't think it was in this case. I just think that was a really stupid thing.
And also, like most things, you can't betray your customer.
But you do. They do. Shitty people do all the time.
Yeah.
A bartender. I betrayed them by putting poison in. No, I betrayed them by only doing a soft pour of the actual alcohol, the thing you want, and then put too much water in to for how much money you're paying. Whatever. He again, welcome. This is our experience with cocktail making.
Maybe they were doing that to you on purpose, like Ryu here.
He mixes the drink, a water cut, which is just whiskey cut with water. What a cocktail. Which Kamishima calls bullshit on and complains loudly until he finally takes a slip mindlessly while berating Kurashima, and He loves it. He notices all the little specific details of what it's doing. Kurashima tells us this isn't just a water cut, but a cocktail called a mizuwari, which our fan translation made a point being it's a pun that doesn't really translate, which correct. Good job, bud. Rolls eyes. It's later at a different bar as Ryu talks to the bartender there about getting forced into that competition and getting yelled at until Kamishima shows up asking what's the deal. Ryu presents the picture he saw before, leading him to make that mizuwari. The picture is in the picture in his mind. I'm now noticing in the way I've written this down. His mind palace picture.
Paint a picture.
His painted brain picture. This man is tired. He's been working for days to open this new hotel and is disheveled in a way that shows he hasn't been resting. He's so stressed from it all that he can't sleep, so he drinks. But wait, the whiskey would have been too strong. How did you do it? It was the ice that he ran out to get that helped it keep the perfect balance. Ryu asks him, do you know the meaning of a bartender? A bar is like a stool, and tender means kindness, so it means a tender stool. I feel like that could have been translated better.
Yeah, and I disagree with this.
It felt like 80% there, and it's just like...
A bartender is the person who tends to the bar.
A tender Japan, a tender stool. The bar is just a plank of wood, but a bartender makes it a space. That I agree with.
Yeah.
If you're here, you're a customer. I'm taking your money. Kamishima asks if Ryo will work at the hotel bar, and he says no. He wants to check out some other places first, much to Kamishima's frustration. But wait, where did you get that ice from? An ice sculpture they were working on in the kitchen. End of chapter 1. Bartender.
Well, specifically, he says, oh, that's a bartender secret.
Yeah.
And then we see a chef berating another chef going, where's the head of the swan?
Which I thought was pretty good.
But that is a thing. The whole thing about large ice.
The ice ball, the carved ice ball.
Large ice melts much, much slower. And so it waters down the drink less.
Is the big circle sphere of ice a Japanese thing? Because I've only seen Japanese things that I can think of, and I can very specifically, which is not a good point of reference, in the Fist of the North Star game made by the Yakuza people, there's a mini game in the bar where he uses his to carve the perfect spherical ice to put into a cocktail. No idea if that has any bearing in reality, but that
I don't know where that started.
And I feel like I see, again, in the Yakuza games, but it's like, I don't know where else I would be going. Like, I'm not going to high enough class places to have perfectly circular ice made in my drinks. But maybe that's the size of like the shot glass or the highball glass or whatever they're called. I'm not very knowledgeable here.
Most bars that are, fancy enough will have, clear ice frozen in reserve for certain cocktails.
I maybe got a spherical ice once when I was on a cruise because I would never normally be in a high-end cocktail bar. That is not, for a multitude of reasons, that is not my space. So my experience here is a little out of step with what the level of it is here. But I enjoyed this manga. I appreciated maybe what I learned about wasn't something I particularly cared about. Maybe by virtue of just this level of things is a little too stuffy for my blood and wallet. But I liked the way it did it. I liked the way it doled out information. I liked that he had a sense of humor amidst the stuffy world. I want to see how his conversation skills are, because to me, like Tahir said, the person who tends the bar, a great bartender is somebody who can listen and say the right things at the right time. Not that I've personally experienced that a lot, but like in my taking into pop culture and talking to other people, like that is what makes a great bartender besides just drink making, is just general presence.
There's a weird thing going on here where on the one hand, they're talking about like how to drink a drink properly, and like the drink is best if you do it like this, and then if you wait too long, it gets watered down, and then it's no good, and blah, blah. But then on the other hand, and they touch on this less, but they do touch on it, is the idea of the bartender giving you exactly what you need at that moment. Because like this hotel manager didn't need a fancy drink that he needed to drink in 3 sips to get the full picture of. He needed just some alcohol he could sip that wasn't go down harsh. Well.
But he's not the clientele. And maybe he is, though, because maybe this is just a bunch of tired people who are going to the high rise of a hotel. Like, I don't know. Like, this is like, I liked this manga more than my tone is saying, but I'm also, in reading it and sitting down and talking to another human being about it, my innate frustration of classism is just going to come out, because it's the same, like, I think a bunch of wine tasting stuff is bullshit. This also maybe comes from a human being who does not like wine, but I think it's the same thing. I like wine,
and I think wine tasting's bullshit.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same thing of, like, high art stuff. It's like, this is a bunch of people with too much money making way too much detail out of nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't think the manga is at fault in that, but I think just by virtue of being in that world that the manga is trading it. So I don't want to say the manga is worse for it, but my personal opinion of what's going on, even though I had a good time and I liked what it did, I liked that his specific knowledge base, and he could describe why, but I liked that they did I always like it when it's like character does something unexpected, and then when you get to put it all together, it's like, oh, they were more on top of it than I as the reader was, and I like that. I'm a fan of that when it comes to, like, highly capable characters, is having that moment of, what is he doing? Why is he running off?
Yeah. I'm just wondering if there's going to be a balance between these two sort of, they're not necessarily different schools of thought, but like a philosophy. Are they going to differentiate between this person is coming to get a drink as an experience. So they're going to get something fancy, and we're going to say, drink it exactly like this to get the full experience, versus someone who's visiting a bar to relax. And like,
yeah, is this an experience visit, or are we hanging out? Right. Are you here with your friends or trying to relax after work?
Because there's a huge difference.
That's a very different thing.
Yeah, and we got both sides of that in this, but I was a bit confused as to sort of like the philosophy of the series overall from that.
I mean, it's only chapter 1. We could see. I feel like usually a series banks its philosophy on its main character, and I don't think he was ever. I know he's the one that told us the drink timing stuff, but I don't think he was ever too. He kind of knew what was going on. And he's like, he made because I feel like he defends the bartender, and it's like,
right.
He made the drink right. You made your experience worse. Person who's being actively mean to your bartender, but also it's like she's like, well, the bartender was mean to me back after I was mean to him, and it's like, that's kind of bullshit behavior too.
Yeah. So yeah,
it's a toxic work environment between them.
I think I understand, what is happening to that extent. I'm just wondering how they're going to present it.
Also, it seems forward. Like he's like, I don't know what a quote unquote lesser bar looks like in Japan. It's like, again, through Yakuza games, I have seen that bar that he's in, the small ones that are very cozy, that have the little booths, and there's the mama-san or whatever at the bar,
Isekai.
the bartender. Is that an Isekai? We've been doing Isekai. It was a good time. We weren't at the bar because I don't like sitting at a bar, but that place was immaculate vibes. It's a little too crowded, but immaculate vibes when the DJ's spinning some old vinyl. But I think when we see him, he's a more salt of the earth person compared to a lot of the people he's working with, which makes him making cocktails for him and his living from that more frustrating. But it's like, maybe it'll be like, because it's like, cocktails can be for anybody if you want to drink alcohol, obviously. That's the caveat of all of this. If you do not want to, or if you've had troubles in the past, there's no judgment to you through these conversations.
I have a feeling that his personality is going to lend toward the humor in the series, of like the juxtaposition of how he acts versus these high class environments that he's in.
I think in talking to you now, I would have had a worse time with it if he wasn't, because there's like the olives gag is really funny that nobody else in the manga really has that vibe. The way he freaks out when he's in the high rise, the fact that he runs off like a little boy when he's going to get the ice. He's like, oh, I'll be right back. Like, I liked that, but he also has the ideas of like, I don't want to work here. I want to see more of what other bars are doing. Like, there's more for me to learn. Like, him not being an asshole in this world of assholes was nice, but I don't know where it goes from there.
We should probably like touch on the fact that if he was the chief bartender at the Ritz in Paris, he's probably loaded.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He doesn't need a job.
He's good. He can wander around like a drink making Ronin.
Right.
And do what he wants. And I think that's chill. I think you can I mean, I never read it, and we're not going to read it, but I remember listening to the Shonen Flop episode that was it called Champagne, or was it just about champagne?
It's
like, I feel like if you have a craft manga that is just factoids and is just bullshit, it's no good. And I think he is the heart to this, of us learning about it. But I do think there's something interesting to making drinks. I just don't think my knowledge and interest set goes with that, but I'm always fascinated to learn. In the vein of an excited friend info dumping about a thing they are passionate about, there's something interesting about it. I just don't think drink making fits in my particular, especially this level of hoity-toity drink making, fits my personal palate.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Oh yeah. I like the almost Sherlockian nature of him pinpointing what the best drink will be.
Yes, that was fun. I'm always a sucker for, I knew all these things because I looked at your person and pieced the details together.
Yeah.
I will never not pop for those things. I love, I think Sherlockian is a good way to put it. I love when those moments happen, because it's I always wish I could be able to do that for people. I'm just like, oh, I've gained this information. I'm sure people can do it to me for stuff of just like, oh, you have X, Y, and Z. This tells me these things. I think I will be a sucker for those bits until the day I die, and even then some. And the art was solid. I don't know. Where do you think this can go? I feel like where this goes is a big question.
So, I mean, you could do a bunch of different things with this. Given that he said he wants to go look around some more, he could basically go on a journey and go to different levels of establishments, from finding a dive bar that has a really good bartender that can do similar to what he's doing, to, going to a really high-end place and seeing the sort of upper class show that they put on in that stuff. And then maybe to that same extent, watching them put on this upper class show and then being like, this is awful. Like you had all this pageantry and everything around this, but like you still didn't do it right. And
the drinks weren't for the people. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it could be very chapter to chapter of like, this chapter we're doing this kind of a bar, this story, but maybe there's kind of this through line. Like it could leave this guy trying to poach him, or that could stick around. I kind of hope it doesn't, because I don't like him, and I kind of don't like her either, but it could. But I just like him. Again, now that I've said it, I do like the concept of wandering drink maker Ronin. I kind of dig that a lot, because it's fun. It's fun having a wandering Ronin story when that guy is a guy who makes drinks for people. It opens up the kind of place but you're still in a bar, which is a very Ronin thing.
He could be a consultant. Like he could go into places that already have bartenders and sort of like fix them.
I want him to make. Is this? Shoot! What's that show called?
Bar Rescue.
Bar Rescue. There you go. Yeah.
Except he's less about fixing them serving bad drinks and more about fixing the bar itself.
Yeah, but in this case,
Bar Rescue, one of Ben's favorite shows.
Oh, really? Wow, incredible. I feel like honestly, I know we learned that I don't know what a seinen is, and I was told this is a seinen, but this feels like what I thought a seinen was. Mm-hmm. And literally that is because we're drinking alcohol in very classy establishments. This feels like a very adult thing, even if our protagonist is kind of goofy.
I think the one thing that we established in the seinen arc is that seinen is anything that's not shonen.
Except when it's shoujo or josei,
right.
But also everything's fucking made up, and we, as English speakers, put extra boundaries on everything.
Right.
I mean, also see anime being cartoons, but anime is specific to Japan or a style. Language can... my one counterpoint to being fully looking down upon of another language took on this word that wasn't theirs and gave it different meaning is that can... I mean, see also Japan taking English words and that their meaning of it isn't actually the English word meaning of it, but it's by virtue of it got moved over there and then grew in its own petri dish into something kind of different.
I guess the question would be,
and I don't think that's a thing that we should look down upon. But
we don't care that they did that.
I do think they're the ones giving us they're telling us these are Jonin, these are whatever, yada yada, and then we're like, this doesn't make sense to the way we understood it. It's like, well, yeah, we're going to kind of get bit on that one in this case. So, but I do still generally hold to the lesson we learned of I don't fucking know what a seinen is, but this is whatever I thought one was originally. This fits that bill, whatever that is. This made up concept in my head. I hope. Does he have? Was he ever at a bar before he left? Does he have like an old bar related friend here, or like somebody that he vowed to that
That's
he
a
was
good
going
question,
to do this? Because we already had Yakuza Japan. We had him. He has to leave where he's from to go somewhere else to learn how to do it better. And this is that case. In this case, he's returned to where he was from. He's very much he's the bread maker from Yakuza Japan here.
But
He went out, he learned, he returned to where he was from, I'm assuming, and now he's going to look at the different things, and he's expanding his drink knowledge, I guess, or
It
maybe
would
he's trying to
be-
find where he wants to go now.
he was 18 when he left, so it would be
Yeah.
difficult.
8 years is a long time to change for bars and places, and especially in a place probably like
Well,
Tokyo.
no, but
or
like
metropolitan.
how could he be a bar person?
I guess did he go? No, I guess I'm still thinking he went to France, but that's the idea. Did he go into America? I think you're right. You said that. Is it confirmed? Well, no, he won a European award, didn't he?
I think he went to a school in America or something like that, and then he went to Europe.
Okay, that makes sense because I think they said bartender the Ritz in Paris.
Yeah.
I thought. Japan. It's not Francophobia. What's the other word? Not Francophile. Paris-ophile. They love Paris. There's literally a Wikipedia page about Japanese people going to
Paris syndrome.
and getting brain broken that it's really not that great
Yeah.
comparative to what they thought it was. And that thought brings me such joy that people have such a messed up version of reality and then finally get to see it and they're just like, huh? I don't know why in particular that it's Japan and France. I think it's just because it keeps showing up and it's like, why? I'm sure there's a bunch of Westerners that go to Japan and go, this isn't like my Japanese animes. There's a lot of conservative people here. Yes. You're right. I feel like so much of my normal toolkit that I normally use to predict things can easily just be thrown out the window. And this can just be little stories that are told and maybe at some point gets a through line, but also just could not have one of those. I don't know. It's not really important.
And if you're looking for a bartender story that is much more small and compact like that, wait till after the beeps. Because I've already described an anime like that, and I will put that at the end.
Brad, tell me, have you ever had a story from a bar or a beloved drink or experience?
So there's a Irish pub near where we live.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've lived around here my entire life. So many, many years ago, I think I was probably 21, 22 at the time.
Yeah.
We would go to this Irish pub all the time. And they have on tap a cider, an Irish cider. And it's a really good Irish cider in the bottle. I like it. But like on tap, it's like, oh my God, this is so good. But they also have all kinds of other stuff on tap. And one time, me and my friend, I don't know if created is the right way to say this, but basically we sort of came up with the idea to do half of this cider and half of this, I believe it's an IPA. Now, I don't really like IPAs. They're very hoppy, right? But when you put these two together, especially this one was very, very hoppy. But mixing them together created just like the perfect balance of like the very sweet nature of the cider plus the hoppiness got cut into just the right amount and everything. And it was so good. And years later, we went, I didn't go with my friend at the time, but I went back there and got that again. And
was it still as good as you remembered?
Still the exact same thing. It's so good. So. The other story I have from there is unsavory, and so I'm not going to tell that one.
Probably for the bonus episode. That's for the patrons. No. I feel like a lot of my bar drinking stories that are interesting or stay in my brain are all Disney related via just bars they have on premises or specifically being on, constantly going on their boats that have bar spaces that I'm in, even if I'm not always drinking in them. It's not the big story I want to tell, but like recently I think about the boat that the Disney boat I was on, the little cozy bar space they had was Haunted Mansion themed. And I love Haunted Mansion. And just being able to sit there and sip my little drink and like look around all the details and like all the little like things that would happen in the room as time went by. They had like ghost fish in the middle of the bar that were really cool to look at, like little skeletal ghost fish that would swim around in no water. I think it was still water. It was just like, I love a good themed bar like that, but that's like the thing. It's like I'm in a space that I normally wouldn't be in because it's just here and everybody's kind of here. But it was cool being there. And the one that stands out to me a lot is many years ago, going to Disneyland with my sister because we travel a lot. and there is a little tiki bar on the premises, I think between the hotels, called Trader Sam's. And it's this closed-in little spot. Like, locals love it. And I got one of the most delicious drinks that I ever had. I think I still have, like, I would kind of, I mean, I don't know how I would have gotten the mugs back because we freaking flew to California. But just, like, I still have a picture, and every so often I think about it, it's like, gosh, I want to see if I can get that drink made because it was so delicious, but also just, like, the bartenders were great. When people bought certain drinks, things would, like, activate in the bar, and I'm a sucker for gimmicks like that. It was just a really good time, so I think about that still. But by and large, I don't go to, like, I never usually somebody to belly up to the bar and be like, yes, this is where I'm going to stay.
And that's, like, I'm not a cocktail person.
I am exclusively a cocktail person. I do not drink beers. I do not drink wines. I need fruity drinks. Fruity drinks for a fruity person.
I generally, if I'm not drinking a beer, which I also don't drink too often, but it's more likely that I'll drink a beer. If I'm not, it's
a beer.
Spiced rum and cola.
Yeah,
is like
that
one
is
of the
your normal
only things
go-to when we have booze nights. However rarely that happens.
Although, and we touched on this, the Izakaya near us, they have some real fun cocktails. And when we were there last time, I got like 2 or 3 different ones.
You got a few ones,
and they were good.
It's a good spot. We still need to go back just to the ramen bar. Still, there's a bar that I want to go to, the ramen bar. But yeah, as stated last time, listener, if you have a particular cocktail that's your favorite or a bartender story, please share with us in the comments and or the Discord.
Much
We'd love to hear about
more likely to respond positively to pictures of drinks because I won't be like, I need that in my belly.
Tell us about
as opposed to the bread.
Tell us about a cool bar you've been to. How about that?
Yeah.
And with that, I think we're at. Are you ready for feelings and thinkings?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any other key points in this chapter that we might have missed. I guess the woman was sort of just not really important. So she gets yelled at. So misogyny arc.
Misogyny arc.
Let's see.
She also yells at people. It's a corrupt system. It's a trickle down.
Trickle down. Yeah. Yeah, the other bartenders that are taking the test are inconsequential. I don't think they're bad or good. So, obviously, they're not the best bartenders because they didn't.
They're not God's glass.
They didn't pick up on the secret hidden test, which they probably should have. But, yeah, the architecture of that hotel didn't stick out to me as like, oh yeah, it was just like, okay, it's a vaulted ceiling.
Rich people are dumb.
Bar, like whatever.
Rich people are dumb. That's the beginning and the end of it. So what are your things?
I'm gonna say that I think this is good to great.
I genuinely exactly what I was thinking. It's good to great, but more good than great.
Yeah. There wasn't anything in here that like really grabbed me and went, this is what you're looking for. But at the same time, it was all very solid.
Yes, I think some of it was originally just was going to say great, and then I mean by virtue of closeness and time and space, I thought about Yakutate Japan. It's like that's great. This isn't as great as that, so it's like it's good to great, but it like did all the stuff pretty well. It,
the pacing was pretty good.
Yeah,
the art was pretty good. Yeah. The story was good enough.
The information was.
He was a good character.
He was a good character.
The people around him were sort of forgettable. But, so yeah, it's just like. They could have probably gone a little bit more in depth with some of the drinks. The only one we've
got hundreds of chapters, I'm sure, to cover it. So we don't need to. We did enough. We gave our little. But
for first chapter, I sort of want you to do it twice, just to sort of.
We did. We learned about the Mizuwari, and we learned about when you should drink your drinks, and then we learned about ice.
I feel like the Mizuwari was like the only one that they actually explained in detail.
True.
Everything else was sort of just like
I think that is a need that you have made up, and that is why you will suffer its consequences.
Well, yeah. The ice thing was related to the Mizuwari, so...
Correct, but there was the original ice thing when they were at the first bar that was talked about how quickly you should be drinking your drinks or not.
Well, that one sort of just annoyed me. I get it, but...
How do you feel? Let's cut to the chase.
I feel good.
It's fine. I feel it's fine. It's fine to good. This is not my.
I
As a cocktail drinker, I don't care about the specificness. Like, it's not. I mean, it's going to be different than bread. It's not like I'm going to go drink a cocktail, but it's just like it's not my vibe. I think it's fine manga if you like it. That's like it's genuinely just like this isn't my space. But I think it was well done. You would not have to point a gun at me to like, oh, I'd read more of this. Like, I would not need to be threatened to it. I don't think it was I don't think I'd have a bad time reading it.
Well, no,
it's just not like people getting hyper specific about drink stuffs. Even though I was kind of interested in that vein of that drinking, like the time of like the whole whiskey cut Mizuwari and that guy, I was just like, I don't give a fuck about this guy and whiskey and water. I do not drink hard liquors. I don't give a fuck.
The whole Sherlockian stuff
that I liked, but
makes me want to read more of this.
But I could get that better in another series without all this extra bullshit I didn't care about. And I don't think that's too. I don't think that's like. I don't think there are things in Bartender that shouldn't be. I think it is exactly what it should be in a similar but not quite the same, not as a quirky vein. What I said about Space Brothers. This manga is shaped like itself, but not as I want to say that in a less quirky way, but it's like it is what it should. It is what it is, and it is what it should be.
They're tenders in bars.
A tender stool. Mwah. Kiss your ass. But yeah. I think there's no high noon. I think we're generally in agreement. This is this might be an in agreement arc.
So the thing is, I want to read more of this. I probably will. I did put it on my plan to read list.
Sure. Haha. But still.
But I don't think I'd buy the first volume.
I would not. This is not the thing. I would not want this. I don't really have of my big list. I have things that I'd be more interested. I have things in this very arc that I'm more interested in reading more of. I feel like this is one of the perfect things of showing about where we have thinking and feeling of like, I think this is a good, like, I think this is a solid manga. I think it's good. I think there's something here for people. It's just not for me, and that's why my feelings on it are more sour.
I'm open to getting more into it after the first couple chapters of seeing what it's going to do running.
I'd be curious about it.
Yeah, but I'm decidedly on the fence right now.
Yeah, I could believe that. So on fence buying and or reading, or both no buy, on fence reading, I'm confirmed not reading. Bigger fish to fry. Yeah, with that, Brad, pour me a glass.
Well, as always, we need to thank Sugoi Mart for partnering with us. Sugoi Mart's a retailer of Japanese snacks, drinks, toys, and merch. No alcohol.
Yeah.
All kinds of cool stuff
ever.
You can't get outside Japan.
I don't know why I'm writing checks. I'm going to shut up.
Check the link in the description or use code APR15 at checkout to get 15% off your first order. More importantly, we want to hear from you. So find all of our social media links on our website, animepodcasterreincarnation.com. The best place to chat with us is on our Discord, as we mentioned. So come and tell us what kind of drinks you like. You can also find a link up there to our Patreon, where our supporters get perks like getting the high-quality stereo version of the podcast early, bonus episodes, and getting to vote on what we cover on heroin addiction. And, of course, we have to shout out our patrons. So first of all, at our noble tier, we have Count Imaginary Numeral.
You switched it up. I wasn't ready. I had Cake Dwarf. I had Sir Cake Dwarfs loaded. Now I don't know what to do. I don't want to do the same one. I was going to do something different. Oh no! You mixed it up and put me on the spot. What's another like count sounding one? I don't know how the count from Sesame Street. Yeah, Hollow the Mountain King's pretty good for that, actually. Yeah.
And of course, our marquee Sir Cake Dwarf. At our reincarnator tier, we've got Moon. And last, and certainly not least, at our commoner tier, we've got Laura Carroll, Rena, and Last Man on Earth. Thank you so much to all our patrons.
Thank you, patrons. Thank you, Brad, for that. Thank you, listeners. Make sure you listen to all the podcasts on our feed. And, Brad, have you heard of the term angel share? During the aging process, some whiskey will be lost to evaporation. This is called the angel share. I hear that if they seal it so it doesn't evaporate, the whiskey doesn't have that nice aroma. What a fancy way of saying it. You ever played the video game Catherine? Or
I
see
didn't
bits
play
of it?
but
There was like a running thing. You were at a bar that a man very calmly told you alcohol facts, and that's what I wanted to do. Fun fact for me and no one else: the voice actor who does it is the same voice actor that does Jelly Jiggler and Bobobo, which is that's his role that I know him from, even though it's probably not even his best role by a little bit. So it's anytime I hear it, I go, "Oh, it's Jelly Jiggler from Bobobo."
there's an anime. It's one of those ones that's only like 3 or 5 minutes long or whatever. And I think it's on Crunchyroll. I'm looking right now, but it's about bartending.
Is it Bartender? Or
No,
is it that
it's
snack
not.
one that had really weird animation?
No, it's not that either.
There was another one about running a small bar, but I liked this one more because that one felt more social. There was also another one about making sushi that I don't remember why I didn't pick it.
The other one that
'cause
you
I
saw
think you
might be this one that I'm talking about then.
Or was aware of via Googling. This is a very classy establishment. Well, you do that, I'm going to do runs at the intro just to find the voice for it. On today's episode, your cocktail is ready, sir. This is Bartender. Something more. Because originally I was going to do belly up to the bar, but that feels too crass for this. Like, this is not that kind of a bar.
Here's your cocktail, sir.
Yeah. I continue to hate not having an honorific for a non-gender
Love
honorific.
is like a cocktail.
No. Or was that what the anime was
That's the
called?
anime.
Okay.
It's
What did you say to
13
me?
episodes.
Your cocktail is ready, sir, or here
Yeah.
is your cocktail?
You said here is your cocktail.
Your cocktail is ready, sir.
Yeah. I've never heard of that kind of drink. 2017. This is from.
Interesting.
This one's different because it's like the guy is a bartender and the girl went to his bar and then she fell in love with him because he makes exactly the right drink that she always needs. But there's a lot of like each episode there's a signature. I mean, they're named this way: first class plum split, second class orange breeze, third class Cinderella, spritzer, special banana cocktail, Bellini, blah blah blah. They actually like they go into detail of like we're doing this and putting this much in.
I'm doing one more comedy thing for after the beeps. On today's episode, it's time to pay your tab, sir. This is Bartender.
Where our supporters get perks like getting the bonus
Are you drunk?
I wish.
That was one of the alcohol trivia bits from Catherine. I just like that as like that felt like a very fitting ending bit for this, was just to try to read one of them in that calming voice. Like, ready to go eat some bread?